On the job with 101.1 WJRR, Orlando's rock station. Lynch and Taco ready for Tech It Out. Some tech news and information brought to you by Rock the Bank. Our $1,000 cash giveaways will pick back up at 9 o'clock with the first keyword of the day that could win you $1,000.
Put your name on the JRR winning list like Lori from Palm Bay did on Tuesday.
Latest winner, yeah. As expected, TikTok has filed a lawsuit against the federal government this week, saying that the new legislation that was passed with overwhelming bipartisan support and signed into law mandating that they divest of their Chinese controlling interest ByteDance by January or face being shut down here in the United States. Interesting angle that they're taking here. They say that law violates the rights of its users. So it's trying to use the Constitution against. I will see what the appeals court has to say about the arguments.
Dude, if I get like subpoenaed to this,
I don't think you have to worry about that, Taco.
I'd say I know all about it. I shoot TikTok, so I can't be on a jury.
There's a very big announcement from Apple rolling out their new iPad Pro and iPad Air tablet. CEO Tim Cook was all fired up, saying it's the biggest day for iPad since its introduction. Apple calls the iPad Pro its thinnest ever at just over 5 millimeters thick and has a new M4 chip, which it calls outrageously powerful for AI and blah, 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 blah. So it's got all the bells and whistles. And then they put out a supporting commercial that goes with this that is getting a lot of people pissed off at Apple because it features a hydraulic press crushing a series of objects that create and reflect the arts. Hydraulic press destroying books, instruments, paint cans, statues, a record player, a camera, an old TV, a classic arcade game machine, and then it flashes to the company's new iPad, basically insinuating, you don't need any of that other stuff, creators. Just do everything through our new shiny device. The hell with that other stuff. Crush it and throw it in the dustbin of history.
And when you crush all that, it's still not as thin as our new iPad.
Right. Yes. So, anyway. FTX announcing this week that most of their customers of the bankrupt crypto exchange will get all of their money back.
Are you serious?
FTX estimates that it owes creditors around $11.2 billion, according to a reorganization plan published this week. The company said that it has between $14.5 and $16.3 billion to distribute to creditors. Customers whose claims amount to $50,000 or less will receive approximately 118% of their allowed claims. So they're going to get paid back plus a little bit of interest.
All right.
And around 98% of creditors will also receive the compensation. This reorganization plan still needs to be approved by the bankruptcy court, and it's likely to bring some relief to FTX customers whose money has been locked up with the exchange since it filed for bankruptcy protection back in November of 2022. Where did the money come from to all of a sudden pay everybody back? FTX managed to raise the money by selling a number of assets, including venture investments held by the exchange and other investments held by the company. So they, selling stuff off to raise the money, to do the right thing and pay back these people who were bilked.
But it still has to go to bankruptcy court,
Which it's likely to be approved, though.
Wow.
Disney and Warner Brothers Discovery teaming up. All right, it's getting to the point where it's hard to keep track of all the new streaming offerings. A new bundle, yes, between Disney and Warner Brothers Discovery. The bundle will include Disney's Disney Plus and Hulu and Warner Brothers Discovery's Max. There will be an ad-free as well as an ad-supported version. How much will it cost? That hasn't been revealed yet, but it's coming out this summer.
When streaming first came out, I loved it. Now it's too much.
Well, all these major players that are left in streaming are all jockeying for position, partnering with one another to try to grab market share. And meanwhile, the consumer is left with trying to piece these services together to try to get all the content that you need. And unfortunately, in many cases, once you do that and look at it against your traditional cable and satellite bill, it's getting close to the same amount, unfortunately.
I told you I was going to break down all the different ones that we have, the different streaming apps. I'm weeding some out. I can't do it today. Too busy with prepping up for Rockville stuff, but it's coming. The big wean out.
Speaking of Disney Plus,
that sounded weird.
They plan to broadcast Caitlin Clark's debut. Disney Plus will debut in the live sports space by airing Clark's WNBA regular season debut. The Indiana Fever will open the season next Tuesday night when they visit the Connecticut Sun. Yeah, you can see it on Disney Plus.
If you have it. If you don't, just plop down this amount.
Finally, there's this. An employee is sharing his experience after being interviewed by AI. A lot of companies using this technology in the first step of the interviewing process. Mm-hmm. This guy tells of the experience, describing it as a dystopian nightmare. He says what happened during the interview, and keep in mind, this was for a job at a grocery store. The interview was done with HireVue, which is an AI assessment tool. He was directed to wear, quote, a suit with no tie. No headphones were allowed. No external mics were allowed, and his surrounding area needed to be well lit and quiet. The system asks 5 questions and gives you 1 minute to read them and 3 minutes or less to respond. Deletions or retakes were not allowed. Eye contact with the camera is to be constant, with facial expressions and eye movements being assessed and scored. If your eye strays, the AI drops your score because it assumes you're reading from prepared cards or devices. If your score is high enough, then your recorded answers will be reviewed by actual humans.
I'm going to a different grocery store then.
Then there's 2 games that ask you to memorize numbers and letters forwards and backward. Then you have to punch them into a keypad.
Oh, God.
And then another game with segmented shapes.
Again, that is to work at a grocery store.
Yeah.
You know, I've been right out of the gates on this AI from the get-go, man.
Yeah.
Trouble.
Right. There's your Tech It Out for this week. Stand by for Lynch and Taco's commercial-free Workday Rock Block.
Lynch and Taco. On demand, download the iHeartRadio app.